Billiken fans, welcome back. It is Zach Miller and Peter Hale. This is the Midtown Madness Podcast. Before we get going, thank you all so much for listening, especially as we come to the end of the basketball season and into transfer portal and all the off-season talk. Thank you guys for sticking with us this season. We can't wait for the next season, but we're going to be here. In the meantime, don't forget about us. Check us out throughout the summer. Hopefully we'll have some interviews. I know we're working on a big time guest. So stay tuned for all of that. Billiken fans, March is over. It is springtime. It is getting warmer. It's patio season. The best thing to have out on the patio is some chips and salsa, and 2 Men in a Garden has you covered. Make sure you check out 2 Men in a Garden every time you're at the grocery store. If you forget at the store, you can order online, hit the QR code at the bottom of the screen or the link in the description. Head over to their website, enter code MMP, and get that salsa shipped to you for free. They are the St. Louis Salsa and Pickle Company, bringing you everything from mild to screaming hot mango and sugar-free. You know, those fruit salsas are going to hit real nice in the spring. Pickles from classic dill to smoky barbecue. Visit them online at 2meninthegarden.com. Shop your favorite flavors. And don't forget to hit code MMP at checkout for free shipping. 3, 2, 1. Pete, let's kick this show off with a little bit. Let's tease the listener. What are we talking about this week? What's good this week?
What's good this week, Zach, is that all 9 players who could still return to SLU and didn't already announce their transfer portal intent last week are back, officially back.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, but that I felt things. Seeing the video, and we're going to get into it in a bit. The bad part, Pete, the bad news.
Yeah.
And it's bad. It's real bad.
It's really bad.
There's 200 days till college basketball. And I don't want to wish away my summer either.
No,
I'm a conflicted guy here.
It's bittersweet. We have to sit here and wait until the end of October all over again, and it's just too long, Zach. It's too long. It's more than 6 months. It's more than half the year that we don't have college basketball actively going on, and it's too long. I'm not a summer guy either. You know me. I'm pale. I run hot. I don't. Summer's too much for me. Just fast forward to fall.
Yeah, there are. It's portal season, and that means things are weird. And really, just the entire portal, like it's the same as the coaching carousel. It is wild west. It's more so wild west, and there's a lot of stuff going on that's not exactly above board.
One of the things that frustrates me the most, right? I'm not opposed to the very principle of players getting paid or being able to transfer or anything like that. Obviously, I want more structure around all of that. That's another conversation. But the fact that it is such an open, gray, weird market means that there's a lot of bad actors in it. And that means all of these sort of questionable actors in portal season are in every element of it, whether it's agents spreading misinformation about the financial offers that their players have in order to inflate their value, or teams or people affiliated with teams overstating the amount that they're spending in the portal, or maybe it's social media accounts linking players to schools that aren't actually recruiting them just because they're trying to farm engagement from fans of those schools, or even players themselves sometimes lying about interested schools or offers, or schools that are calling them up. We had one not too long ago, a high school player actually just flat out fake an offer from SLU, like just say, and George Mason said he had an offer from George Mason too, and it was just a lie. It was just a lie. So there are so many sort of bad actors. I don't know what else to call them out there.
And
Grifters,
yes,
liars,
grifters
cheaters.
is a great.
Grifters is probably the best word.
It's
People trying to attach themselves to this thing in any way, shape, or form to kind of drive, I don't know, some kind of income for themselves.
and don't forget there are also people that are extending fake offers. So like that
Yeah.
kid might not have been his fault.
Oh, you mean like he got catfished or something?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we've had a show on the air for 20 years now almost um about it. So, yeah, it's hard out here, man. It's there's a lot going on and I can't it doesn't surprise me when I see coaches retire or get out of the college game. It does not surprise me at all.
There's definitely a status in my career that if I had made a pretty comfortable long-term living and if I were of a certain age, this might be the right time to go, you know what? Fishing sounds really nice right about now, or whatever whatever these guys are into.
Uh, Pete, the coaching carousel has come to an end.
I think it has, Zach. There's a couple spots that are open, but they're not really going to move. The Mississippi Valley State job I think is still open. There's a couple
Hey,
that
I'm still available. Call me.
are. I think you're the right man for the Delta Devils. But no, I mean, like there's a couple jobs left that are just not going to move the needle. But on Monday, Zach, we got a big one that prevents some dominoes from falling, and that is UNC hiring former Denver Nuggets head coach Michael Malone as their head coach to replace Hubert Davis. And that, by going to the NBA, helps prevent a chain reaction within college basketball, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And it's interesting because that hire it's not really it, I think from an outsider, a person who just watches college basketball, who doesn't care about the NBA. I literally tried to watch the NBA. I was like, I'm going to put it on an NBA game and I'm going to give it a go. And I turned it on and immediately it's fan appreciation night, the 82nd game of the season. I'm like, well, now I'm going to turn this off because this is going to be terrible. But yeah, it just doesn't. I don't understand this. Um, but like, I mean, I could see why they would do it, but it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it.
I mean, he's got a reputation as a player developer. He obviously has won. The Nuggets being one of the better teams in recent years in the NBA. He hasn't been a head coach for the last year, but I guess I could see how this could work at a program that aspires to be at the top of college basketball and wants to recruit guys who have an eye on the NBA, right? Who are for the most part not 4-year players, but guys who are thinking about this in terms of a career for them, a long-term viable pro career path. That's what UNC basketball is, right? So I could see this working out for them. We'll see if it translates, if what he does translates to the college game, though.
Yeah, it interests me that with UNC you have these too big to fail programs, right? That I've talked about. With UNC, are they able to like? Is there still that draw? Any coach could come in and draw there. Like, does it still have that mystique and um that I don't know, that mythos, that mythology?
Yeah, I think you can ask that about any of those the true blue bloods. We've talked about UNC recently, right, as being kind of one of those Mount Rushmore college basketball programs in the modern game. And I think it still is, but you've definitely seen seasons at places like UNC and Kentucky that make you question that, right? But the fact of the matter is there's a fan base, there's a donor base, there's a will, there's an expectation that those programs just compete at the absolute highest level. And until they would have to really sustain mediocrity for a while for that to really truly fall off. I mean, I still think the UNC brand is about as good as it gets in college basketball. They're the only one with like that color scheme. Jordan went there. They're the original Jordan program. They've got that everything about the brand is just about as strong as it gets, you know? So I think a lot would have to go wrong for them to really kind of fall down a tier.
Yeah, it's interesting. He hasn't been in the college ranks since 2001.
Right.
Um, and hasn't he hasn't been a head coach in college.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. And being he's an outsider, not a Dean Smith, Roy Williams, North Carolina
Mhm.
guy.
Part of the family.
Yeah, part of the family. But it seems like maybe by going outside of the college ranks, they can bring in a guy and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
experienced guy, let's get you into the cult here." It's a very, you know, like it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how much North Carolina um, is going to kind of push the legacy, if that makes sense. Kind of like it would be like if Krzyzewski didn't have a succession plan and they went with outside, and how much of it would still have the brotherhood, you
Right.
know? So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking forward to watching that develop.
I'm just glad they went with Michael Malone. I'm also glad, Pete, that on Saturday, Michigan announced an extension for head coach Dusty May, which again prevents any motion in the carousel. And the minimum amount of motion is the best scenario for us.
That's right. Yeah. And this was just yesterday, and we don't have like all of the details of the contract yet or any sort of like official
What have you been doing?
release from
Get
the
on it.
university.
Get that
But
FOIA.
yeah, exactly. But I don't think anything's, I don't think it's been filed all the way yet, but little early for that. But nonetheless, I think, we'll hear in the next couple days, but they announced it at I guess they had a parade and then that kind of a victory. I don't even know what you want to call it, congregation ceremony or whatever in their arena. And the athletic director was talking and announced the long-term extension, and May was sitting right there nodding along, and people gave a standing ovation. And he basically said it's going to, make, I can't remember how he worded it, but he's going to be in charge of this basketball program for a long time. Something like that were his words. And May kind of nodded along. But I think the bottom line is, Zach, that those two announcements kind of put it to rest for this cycle, as you said, and combined with SLU's roster announcement, which we're about to get to, I think we can officially say that Josh Schertz is not going anywhere this year, and we can all kind of take a deep breath.
Yeah, and it's funny looking at his statement and just thinking about how difficult it was that statement meant he was back.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just very difficult to breathe and accept his message.
We wanted to be absolutely sure.
Yes, you can't. I think I texted you. I said I think I'm just waiting for something to go wrong.
Yeah.
Everything keeps breaking right for the Billikens, and I feel like Millhouse. Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Everything's coming up SLU, and we're just so damaged psychologically.
Yes,
from many years of conditioning.
Is it called operant? I forget. My whatever professor at SLU taught me that. Is gonna be pissed. Let's talk about that roster update. Pete, I want to revisit something you said a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, or maybe it was last week, I don't know. Time's a flat circle. What I do know is you said, we don't need you don't need an I'm back graphic if you're staying at a school. How do you feel about we're back videos?
So I said that, right? I said, you don't need an announcement. And to my knowledge, I don't think any of these guys really have done that. Like any of these 9 guys have said, I'm staying. They did one collective video. And I think what I said after that initial tweet, or however I said it, Given all of the things that have gone down with like the sort of coaching drama that we went through for a week or two there, it would be nice if we got like just kind of a blanket statement. And I think I even said like a video or something just for them all to say we're back. Like that would be a nice way to get the fan base pumped about what next season looks like. To know that 2/3 of your roster is already in place, and we know them and love them.
While you're complaining about social media, and I agree with you, I just can we do something about the amount of breaking news?
Mhm.
Like everything's breaking,
Yeah.
and I need it to stop.
So how would you?
Like
So
breaking news is not like I don't know. It's so bad. Everything. I'm an old man, and things are passing me by, and I don't like it. It's
breaking
not
news.
fun.
Breaking news is not Kalu Anya in the transfer portal.
Right, breaking. Kalu Anya has entered the. Yeah, no, well, no. I guess it's like Josh Shirts is turning down. Like I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Breaking news has to be a bigger thing.
Breaking news, like winning a championship, is not breaking news because everybody was watching it unfold.
Okay.
Everybody was watching it break.
I see.
Like it didn't.
Okay.
It's not breaking news. Is something that interrupts your daily life.
Okay.
Not something that you're expecting to hear.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Anyway, I don't know where I went down that rabbit hole, but we don't have a lot to cover, so we might as well say some stupid shit. This video was it was outstanding. Once again, Jordan Neisler is a wizard. I have one note that I would have changed.
Ooh, okay.
I would have said, and this is funny because of our conversation about the I'm back post, is I would have had everybody say I'm back. And then at the end, it would have been all the guys together saying we're back.
Mm.
That's my only note.
Okay.
Creatively.
Okay. Said the studio head that the director does not want to receive a call from.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
I'll pass a note.
Hey, look, I mean, I loved it. They're down at the arch. I think it's great.
It was amazing.
It was a great backdrop.
I'm more just I'm truly playing Monday morning quarterback.
Sure, of course.
With no, like, just for funsies. This isn't a serious, like, I'm just for funsies. That's what I would have done.
I think they used the best jerseys for it.
Yes. Oh my God. Do you know how pissed I would have been? By the way,
if they went with the black jerseys,
or no, if they wore any jerseys other than the ones from last year.
Oh, gotcha.
Last year is whatever that happened this year. I don't blame SLU. That's Nike. That's the manufacturer. Get those sons of bitches out of here.
Yeah, they're not great.
I don't want them. I don't want them. They're ugly. The Lou one is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry. I blame Nike for that ugly ass template. But this video was awesome. You have Trey Green, Ishan Sharma, Kellen Thames, Amari McCautry, Quentin Jones, Jax Kerr, Luke Lachkowski, Cam Hudson, and Badara Diakite. After obviously we had Brady Dunlap, Kalu Anya enter the portal. So this is everybody that could possibly return. Pete, I'm not gonna lie. I know, and I'm not. This isn't a take on Badara or actually Badara in general. But like I'm surprised that Badara is returning because it seems like in our history that big man at the end of the bench always ends up transferring.
Yeah, so a couple things that make that extra interesting is they were really transparent when he signed. If you remember, he was the 15th guy this past year, and I think he had, what was it, Iowa?
It was an interesting scenario.
I think it was Iowa that he was initially going to, and they had the coaching change, so he got out of his letter and then was looking for a place to go. and kind of fell into our laps. And they said, look, we don't have a lot of extra NIL money, but we'll redshirt you. You won't lose any eligibility. You'll get paid a little bit. You can practice with us this year, strength and conditioning, and that's that. I don't think they guaranteed anything long term, nothing like that. It was just kind of like, you have a year of development with what we think is going to be a pretty good team, and then get to the end of that season, and I guess they've seen enough to go, we want to keep them around.
It's funny you say that. I'm going to show a time where I'm ignorant. I forgot that as this season has progressed, I kind of forgot that he had signed with Iowa. And again, that's not a bad Iowa team. That's a very, very okay Iowa team. They just got tired of Fran McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So that's not our normal, forward at the end of the bench.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. I'm back in. I'm back in.
When you think about some of the other forward at the end of the bench who only lasted a season, well, number one, they did burn a year of eligibility because they mostly played. Number two, there were guys that we just didn't know anything about until kind of late in the spring period, and they kind of showed up late, and we weren't up against a lot of schools for them or anything like this. This is a kid who signed with the Big Ten team, didn't work out. And we found a home for him, and they must like what he does. They must think that there's something here long term, because I don't think there would have been any hard feelings on either side if he said, okay, now I'm going to go find my longer term home at the end of this season. Yeah. It would have been on both sides. It would have been like, yeah, fine, everybody got what they wanted out of this year. But instead, he's staying, and to me, that's really promising.
Yeah, another one that apparently the staff is super high on, but I think surprised a lot of Billiken fans. I would probably categorize it as intriguing that he's returning. Because I don't want to be down about him because I don't know enough. But that's Cam Hudson. And honestly, I've seen, I think he's I think he's going to be an athletic player. I think he's a polished player. I just feel like we didn't see a lot of actual, we did see him a couple times with I forget what game he came in and got a ton of time with the first string.
I think Principia was a game where Kerr and Hudson got a lot of run.
They were bringing in deep bench but he got starters minutes. I think it was a game when Kellen didn't play. He was sick. One of the games, Kellen was sick. Okay. But anyway, I just haven't seen enough, as far as the ball going in the basket, to really know what we've got. But I mean, I think the staff's high on him from what we heard.
Yeah, they like him, and it's one of those things too. When you're not a big man, you're not really like a specialist. We've got a lot of guys on the roster who are in his, roughly his height range. Sharma, Thames, Jones, McCaffrey are all kind of within a couple inches. So we've got a lot of guys who look like kind of classic wings on the team. And so it's easy to get a little lost in the shuffle when you're the freshman in that bunch. But look, it's another situation where there was mutual interest in him staying. And I just think that says a lot. When those guys who didn't really get much of a chance this year believe in the team, believe in their long-term development here, I think that's cool. And I support it.
I think Billiken fans need to, I think a few things that I think Billiken fans should be excited about. First and foremost, the fact that Kellen Thames is returning.
Yeah.
We get to watch Kellen Thames play basketball again.
Yeah, and he was one who was a little ambiguous in his quotes at the end of the year, right? Right away we got word that Green, Sharma, McCaffrey, they were committed. We didn't necessarily hear explicitly from the other guys, but we felt strongly that Jones and Kerr would be back. But Thames was just a little hey, I'm going to get healthy, I'm going to rest up, and then I'll talk about that later. So the fact that he's back is just huge.
I'm very excited for Jax Kerr. I really hope that he is going to be what I thought Max Picard could be. I am begging him to be that guy. So I think I'm not surprised he's back. I think he's the heir apparent. I've said it. But I could have seen him kind of again, big man end of the bench. I know he's the heir apparent, but things change, plans change. So happy that he's back. And I think Billiken fans need to pay attention to this one. I think he's going to take a huge step.
I think so too. And all three other active bigs on the roster are gone, right? Which clears a path for him. It's obvious that we're going to go grab a couple in the portal. We'll get to that in a little bit. But we saw Zach like he was one. As much as you say we didn't see a lot of from Hudson. Hudson's I think a guy in a position and where you just need to see more minutes, right? When you come in for a couple minutes and you're a 6'5" guy and you miss a 3-pointer and maybe you grab an offensive rebound and kick it out or something. Like you just do, there's not a lot you can do. It's a couple possessions. But when you've got a guy who's a 6'11" player, now you're like, okay, how does this guy move? And like there are the things that you don't that how do I word this? We knew Cam Hudson coming in as like a 6'5" wing was athletic, physically D1 ready, things like that. With the 6'11" kid, there's a little more like, what does it look like when you've got the ball in your hands? What does it look like when you shoot a three? That you need to see a little bit of. And Kerr actually, people might not remember, he actually won A10 Freshman of the Week in late December. I think it was the week where we played Principia and another team, maybe New Hampshire, somebody where he got a little more minutes there. And so we kind of saw more of like, okay, like this is what happens when we give him more run. And yeah, yes, I know that was against inferior competition and everything, but just to get those reps. And then like he actually did connect on a few threes over the course of the season. And he showed us like that rebounding and stuff like that. And he's more of a shot blocker than Avila, and he's taller and longer than Avila. And I just think like he's a really dynamic looking player where you can just say, here's a big freshman who didn't play much, but I can see the vision of what he's supposed to
Look, I could envision and this is way too early. We don't even have players yet, right?
Yeah.
I could envision Jax Kerr being Robbie Avila, in the way that like we had that first team was Robbie Avila. Mm. He would be kind of the secondary role as a Robbie Avila, and what we saw from that second team would kind of change probably more so this season, and then we would see more of that top of the arc trigger.
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that was probably the recruiting pitch to him. I think it's probably the reason that we were able to retain him this season. And I think they must think highly enough of his ability and his skills in those parts of the game that it was, that everybody wanted him back, right? They didn't want him to walk. So this is, I think you're spot on in what he brings. And Zach, I think there's one more guy out of the ones that we really haven't seen that we don't know yet coming back. What is the reason that Josh Schertz said to Stu that we're not looking to 1-for-1 replace Brady Dunlap in his skill set? It's Luke Lachkowski.
Yeah.
Right.
It's funny to see that like it is a 1-to-1.
Yeah.
It feels it's going to be very interesting because it's kind of like, like the A's, the Oakland Athletics, right? Mm-hmm. They have to, they can't afford to re-up a guy after he has a big season. So they bring up the next guy from the minors. Like that's seeing that happen in real time in the current climate of college basketball is rare and very, very cool.
Yeah, and Luke's one of these guys who's easy to root for. His parents, met at WashU. They were both, I think, national champs at WashU. I think his mom, if I recall correctly, won like 3 national titles there in volleyball and was like D3 Player of the Year. They've got St. Louis connections. I think he's still got family here, even though he's from the Texas area. These seem like just really nice people. Both of his brothers played in college. One at Army. And one at I'm forgetting the Penn, right? So like clearly a bunch of smarty pants and like cool people, St. Louis ties. But the thing, Zach, that I think is that I really want to highlight here is when we saw him in those preseason scrimmages that were open to the public, his shot looks fantastic. His mechanics are good. It's a very consistent shot. He's lethal off the catch. And he hit, I want to say in one of those scrimmages, like three of them. And like he looked good enough that I thought like, oh, everybody thought he was going to redshirt. Maybe he won't. Like maybe he's ready right now. But I think the roster was just a little too crowded there with Brady. Now with Brady moving out and he can now play as a redshirt freshman. I really, really like the potential here. I really like it. And I have no question that, that he and the other guys have kind of done the homework and the physical work and everything they need to do in this redshirt season to be ready to go this year.
I think what's going to be really interesting is that this team is going to be old. Because I don't think people realize how young that team was last season. Like it was fairly young. I mean, you had Trey Green and Sharma who were sophomores.
Mm-hmm.
You had Amari McCautry who was a sophomore. You had Brady Dunlap who was a sophomore. Quentin Jones who was a junior.
No, he was a junior. He'll be a senior,
right?
Yeah.
Kellen Thames is old, but he's got eligibility. Going into the season, we're going to have Green, Sharma, McCautry as juniors, a senior Quentin Jones, a senior Kellen Thames.
Yep.
You're going to likely add at least one. I'm going to say you're going to get one senior at least or final year player.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean this. If we can solve, or if Josh can solve the how to win without Robbie Avila problem.
Yeah.
This team has all the pieces, man.
Yeah. And
I'm excited. I'm going to let myself get excited, Pete.
You say the team's old, but I was having it. Yeah, I'll allow that, Zach. You say the team's old, but I also think like there's been a very conscious, and I was texting, I'm taking credit for it, but I was, my friend Tim made this point in a group text the other day, was just, there seems to be a conscious decision to spread players among classes in a more traditional way, right? So we don't have, it seems like in this day and age, teams are not worried at all about clustering. Like, we've got 8 seniors this year and no juniors and 4 sophomores and no freshmen. Like, they don't seem to really care about that. There seems to be some sort of like conscious class stacking here where the players are pretty evenly spread out among those classes. And even though I think you're right, we're going to go get more upperclassmen types from the portal, at least in the guys that are returning and who are cycling up through the program. There's a very real step, and it's not as easy as it was when he was at Lincoln Memorial in D2 to say everybody redshirts freshman year to learn, and then I'm going to keep you in the program 5 years, because those are a bunch of guys who are not going to go play in the NBA. There wasn't NIL and easy transfers and all that at the time either. But he seems to sort of still have some of that long-term program building mentality where there's a very methodical build up in each of the classes. And if the guys stay and buy in, that future is there for them in this program.
Yeah, I think that's huge. You have to be different in this era.
Yeah.
I think we have, and that's what's kind of amazing is we have the numbers, financially speaking. SLU does, at least for basketball, NIL specifically. But also we have a coach, and we are incredibly lucky that can stand out from the crowd in his methodology and his the way that he works his roster. But it sounds like we are also, it sounds like we are adding Jermel Thomas, who was at the was he at the NCAA tournament or the Atlantic 10 championship?
It was the NCAA tournament in Buffalo.
Yeah.
He came
That's
over
awesome.
That's
pretty
great.
That's cool. So like that's sick that he was there support. Like, he's excited. He's ready to go. He very well might be ready. By the way, it's amazing what, like, I still can't get over what guys like Trey, Ishan, Amari brought as sophomores to that team. I can't get over it.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's crazy.
That's an outstanding sophomore class. But yeah, Jermel Thomas is a guy who he missed most of his senior year of high school ball with a broken rib. He says he's 100% now. Yeah, yeah. Right. So
a broken rib's a long way from the heart, Jermel.
Why don't you? You know what? Tell that to him. Give him.
He's listening right now.
He's got an interesting social media presence. I think his dad runs his accounts, but he seems like a kid who's very charismatic, and he has been able to kind of some way or another get his way onto like the red carpet for like NBA All-Star Weekend and stuff like that. Like, he's got all these clips of him interviewing NBA like superstars. And, all these clips of him playing in the big outdoor, playground tournaments and stuff like that in New York City and stuff. So he seems like a fun kid. I can't wait to see what he does here. Coming off a broken rib, missing his senior year, my guess is they're going to want him to kind of redshirt and develop. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe he is ready because we do need a distributor on the roster.
And they're going to find one in the portal, hopefully.
Yeah.
Pete, let's talk about the portal. The portal is officially open. It's here. I will not be entering the portal. I don't believe you're planning on entering either.
No, I showed my wife the I'm still here returning graphic.
Did you? Did you give her a call? This is the internet. This is Portal Week when men give their wives or girlfriends or partner it's a card, but on the card it's a graphic says I'm back.
That's right. That's exactly right. I did that, just because I didn't really have any other good offers this year. Next year, you never know. I might have to give her the with that being said speech. I might have to give her
What photo did you use in the graphic? Did you include your children?
No.
Just you didn't use your. Okay,
it's AI. It's AI all the way. I'm very fit in this.
Did you go to Tipton for that edit?
I did. Yes, he does great work.
On threes reporting.
They're just the pinnacle of content.
I think this is something that I should genuinely do for Instagram, like the reels. I think this is a bit that needs to be played out.
Yeah, let's let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
Which one of us is going to throw our relationship away for this bit? Let's find out. Could be some good summer content to keep people engaged.
Hell yeah. Hey, anything for the pod listeners, all right? You people are special to us. You're family. You're way more family than my own.
That's 100% true.
Let's talk about some guys. Talk about some dudes. Bowden Kapke? Officer Krupke?
Yep, sure.
Okay. He was spotted on campus on Sunday. Via binoculars, I hope.
Somebody had we did have a SLU paparazzo out there. A sleuth. Oh, that's got sticking power right there, Zach. Mm-hmm. That's good. But yeah, he somebody sent a photo around and was like, "Who is this?" And someone figured it out. Bowden Kapke is a 6'11", 255-pound junior center from Boston College. Played his first 2 seasons at Butler and then went to BC for a bigger opportunity. He averaged 10.6 points a game, 5.7 rebounds, 0.7 assists, slash line of 479, 333, 707. So he's 55.2% on 2-pointers alone. He shoots about 3 threes a game. He oddly, Zach, was better in every statistical category on the road than he was at home. And given Boston College's season this year, I think it's not surprising that they had guys hitting the portal.
Yeah, no, BC went 11-20, 4-14. Earl Grant was fired at the end of the season. Luke Murray, you'll know him from his work as the son of Bill Murray.
Thought to be one of the best assistants in college basketball
Yes,
for quite some time.
future Billiken head coach, perhaps.
He comes from he was at Xavier, he was at UConn for a while.
Yeah.
He's put his time in the trenches for sure.
Yes. So yeah, it's interesting to look at some of these situations because last season you have a guy like Trey Green who had a falling out or whatever you want to call it, a disagreement over promises with the coaching staff. You had Ishan Sharma who left because his coach left. Mm-hmm. Who else? You had Quentin Jones on a bad UNI team, looking for a final year. So it's always interesting to look to see what context these players are coming from.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to look at any video or anything on Capkey or kind of get any thoughts together on?
No. Should we do some bad radio?
No, I was just going to say, like, I was just curious if you had, because
did he sign? Did he sign with somebody now, or is he still out there?
Oh, he's still out there. Yeah, I think he just visited today. So he's probably going to go on more visits or whatever. But yeah, so I was able to watch some video on him. I admit that I did not spend much of my time watching Boston College basketball this winter because, obviously they were terrible, but he's an interesting player, Zach. He's been listed at, what did I say? 6'11", 255.
Yeah.
He's got a really thick frame. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like his legs.
He's got Jimerson legs.
Every part of him is just wide. He's just he's a big guy. He's thick. So
he's every guy you don't want to box out at the YMCA.
No, he's a really big guy, and yeah, he wears his hair a little bit long. He wears that big headband.
He wears a Junk Brands bandana.
The thick, the wide band.
Yeah. The listeners know. The listeners got it.
All right. So anyway, yeah, he's
he can shoot.
He can shoot. He steps out past the perimeter a lot. He can shoot it. I like the look of his shot. He was 333. I would like to think in our system that goes up a little bit. I don't 55.2% at the in 2-pointers, not necessarily just in layups. Yeah, and that's the other thing, because he's so big. You like the idea of the way that he's going to free up other players in this system as well, right? So I could actually see him being a pretty good fit. Now, what does he not give you? He's not much of a shot blocker, right?
He can drive a little too.
He can drive, yeah, for sure. He can put it on the floor. I wouldn't call him like a high level athlete.
Oh, I see the play I see the play that they saw on him.
Yeah. So wait. So yes, describe it.
It's a dribble handoff screen. Sets a screen. It looks exactly like Ishan and Politiano. Everything it's the same. I see it.
So he's got big tree trunk legs, and he can set hard screens. With that big broad body. And then the other thing I saw him do a couple times was just get it 7-8 feet from the basket, put a few dribbles down, back a guy in, and then turn and lay it up. And in one, he misses the initial shot, but gets his own rebound just because by then he's cleared the guy under the basket. And so there's definitely, this is not a guy who's going to out athletic or outplay like the bigs we saw on Michigan, for example. But I think he's a really serviceable workhorse backup center who brings a lot of the attributes that I think fit into our system.
I mean, if Jax Kerr is ready, I could see where he just. I could see where he is just the back. He is a back. Yeah. He sits behind Kerr. I like what I saw. I know he uses his elbow quite a bit. He gets that arm out there, which I'm sure A10 refs will love to call if he's around.
That's that. You can coach that.
Let's talk about Isaiah Dennis. Now we're going to move on to players that we believe SLU has reached out too.
Yeah.
Based on public posts, based on other things, mostly just public information, really.
Yeah.
And that's the first one's Isaiah Dennis. Pete, talk a little bit about this guy. Not a whole lot to go on.
He's a little harder to scout because of how his freshman year went. So he's a 6'4" freshman guard from UNC. Didn't get much of a shot this season, and he was limited by an injury to his pinky finger. But he was a 4-star recruit out of high school in Charlotte. I think he went to Davidson Day School, I think it's called, and picked UNC over Tennessee, Miami, and Ohio State to kind of give you an idea of his level as a high school recruit. He said publicly that he's considering returning to UNC, but he's also looking for more playing time, and UNC had a coaching change. So there's a way where, you could see him kind of getting squeezed out if he does stay on the roster there. So I listed him first among this category because there are some rumors that he's visiting this week. He's got good size at the guard position. He's athletic. He can shoot from outside. He was considered to be kind of a combo guard coming out of high school with good playmaking ability, a little bit turnover prone, and I think scouts liked him more as a scorer than as a playmaker. But he's certainly got a little bit of both.
Gotta replace. No, Quentin Jones still here.
Quentin Jones still here, but maybe long term you look for kind of some of those things, right? So.
Oh yeah.
So he's a really efficient shooter, especially off the catch. I think in EYBL play, he was one of the most efficient shooters off the catch, in high school. So there's a lot this guy can do, and based on the schools that recruited him, he's got a lot of those athletic sort of long-term upside attributes that you like as well. His dad played lower division basketball. His brother plays defensive back for Memphis, comes from an athletic family. And like you said, we talked about it earlier. UNC had that coaching change. Yeah, right. So they go 24-9 this year, 12-6, bounced by VCU in the first round. Hubert Davis gets fired. Michael Malone steps in. You just don't know where he factors into their long-term plans. I think Davis recruited him not as a guy who was going to play a lot this year, but moving forward, they would kind of, more and more increase his role. They saw him more like UNC, even UNC. They want to have some guys that stay on as like long-term rotation, rotation players.
Yeah.
Maybe not the guys who are ever the star, but who stay there. And he was intended to be that.
Let's talk about a familiar face. Riley Allensbach, a 6'11" junior from George Mason, 13.6 points per game, 6.1 rebounds a game. Not a great shot blocker or passer. He only shot about 31% from three this season. Again, that's a caveat of the doing better in a system that gets him better looks. Mm-hmm. He's fine from the free throw line, 68%. I like it. I think it's anytime you can assert this kind of dominance over your conference, let's roll. I love taking a guy from within the conference. Let's go. And of course he's coming from Mason, so it's Tony Skinn. No coaching change. He's still there. 23-10, 11-7. Interesting. It's very, very interesting. I mean, I guess they just don't. He just doesn't see it in the Skinn system.
I don't know. It's been interesting because so many guys left this season, even though it was a pretty good season there. And Braden O'Connor didn't play, right? But Braden O'Connor is coming back. So he's really the only guy of any name, I shouldn't say recognition, but like, he was supposed to be their number one guy this year and was hurt and sat out the year. But everybody else who was a major contributor this year is gone, either to the portal or graduation. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why so many guys decided to leave heading into year 3. Wait, what is it now? Year 3, 4 for Skinn? So don't get it. I don't know what's going on.
We just get another year of shirts for Skinn.
That's right.
Kavere Kennedy. I'm so glad I didn't call him Caviar. 6'2" freshman point guard from Merrimack. Merrimack's a team that went 23-11 this season, 7-3. They have their coach is Joey Gallo, who is there's connections. Phil Gaetano's on this staff.
Yep.
So that's an interesting aspect. But talk about Caveira as a player.
Yeah, and I think they actually went 17-3, Zach, in conference.
Oh.
They won the league outright. And he was, as a freshman, as a 6'2" freshman point guard, he was the MAC I've said that a little longer, right? The MAC MAAC Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year, which is incredible. 18.4 points a game, 4.6 rebounds a game, 4.2 assists per game. Really productive. He shot 451 from the field, 325, a little low from three, 809 from the free throw line. So he definitely checks some boxes of what we're looking for in a perimeter playmaker. He's super quick. He's a fun player to watch. It was a huge year in college basketball for a freshman, but you had guys like this kind of flying under the national radar who were just straight up dominating in a small league. So he's looking to make a jump up to the next level. He's not going to average, over 18 a game, most likely wherever he goes, but he's going to be a really dynamic scorer and playmaker. So at 6'2", he's a little shorter than probably what ideally we'd want, but I think you can make exceptions for guys who are just this good, and we know small guards can absolutely thrive in the A10.
This is one of my on my list.
You like him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll be a little bit different. He'll be a little bit different than anything we have on this roster now, for sure.
I think that's right. Yeah, the only other guy who would be smaller than him is Trey Green, who's just such a pure shooter, and we know what Trey Green does. But what do you think about Colby Garland? Here's a guy who would be a little bit smaller, Zach.
I don't know. Another point guard. I think you're probably looking. He and Caveira probably competing for the same spot, or sure, being looked at for the same spot. He's a junior guard from San Jose State. That's not a good team. This is San Jose's always bad. Apparently, Tim Miles has been there for like 8 years. 9-24, 3-17. But I mean, it looks very similar to Caveira, just the height difference and maybe a better shooter, better scorer.
Yeah, I think you when you look at 20.3 points a game, right? So average 2 points more, 3.3 rebounds, 4.6 assists, but he shot 490 from the field, 372 from three, and 848. So he's hovering. Yeah, I think he's just doing the quick math. I think he's a 180. No, he's okay. So he's not a 180 shooter, but he's getting close, right? He's getting close. He's like a 170.
490 from two is wild for a 6-foot guard.
For a 6-foot guard, yeah. And 37+% from three, I think is absolutely worth a look, to translate into our system as well. But the other interesting thing, Zach, is it would be his fourth school in 4 years. He started at Drake, went to Longwood, and then San Jose State. I
wonder what he did at Drake.
He was a contributor everywhere, but his numbers have gone up, I think, at all three schools.
It'd just be interesting, given that he was at Drake when Schertz would have coached against him.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe that's why he knew him, wanted to reach out to him.
Let's see. Go ahead.
Third team All Mountain West, despite being second in the league in scoring. I think some of those all conference teams can kind of reward the teams that do better, and San Jose State's always in the cellar of the Mountain West.
Yeah, I don't think he really did anything against Indiana State, and he played 17 minutes against the Billikens that season. Went 1 of 2 from the line.
Oh wow! So we saw him too.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about that? Let's talk about Chol Machat, who, a 7 foot from 7 footer. This is the guy we need for Mara.
Yeah, that's right.
I love that one. That's my favorite thing that happened after that Michigan game is everybody got really latched on to like getting a 7 footer.
Yes, I know. It was just like, okay, how do we stop this guy? I assume he is
Olivier Ryu.
exactly. Yeah, he's out there. He's out there. But he's obviously so his first name's Chol, right? Chol. So that's generally a Sudanese name, and he looks the part, even though he's Australian by birth. I believe he's Sudanese Australian, but really, really long, skinny, 7 foot,
I
right?
think
7 foot,
Sudan to
190.
Australia to I saw something about it that like listed the nationalities in order of where he's
Yeah.
lived.
So he's a man of the world. But yeah, he's got that sort of like the Sudanese players who we've seen in
Yes.
basketball over here, just really, really long. And he averaged 8.9 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 2.5 blocks, which is something that we could certainly use. And then the program situation there, Zach, 21-11 this year, 14-4, and Chris Mack, the head coach, left for South Florida with John Gross taking over. So it's certainly a time where, coaching change, it's pretty natural to hit the portal. And I think, the other bigs we talked about before just give you a completely different profile, and you think of them more, how do they fit in our offense? They're stretch bigs who kind of shoot from outside. He's not that, right? Like he's at the basket, long, skinny, and really just looking to be more of kind of a defensive disruptor, a bit of a rebounder, things like that. And then any offensive production you get out of him, I think, is a bonus, even though, 9 points a game is absolutely respectable.
I'd take it. How about a Xavier Robinson?
Yeah.
This 6'2" freshman guard from Butler. He is in the portal, coming off a season with Butler where they went 16-16, 7-13. Thad Matta was put into retirement, and Ronald Nored was hired as the new head coach. And I was going to say that this is about as close to Blake Ahern as you could get, but then I just saw another one that was another coach that got plucked out of the NBA as an assistant that was legitimately Ahern esque.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean
I'm gonna
that
look
like
that up.
this certainly has some common DNA with that, but Robinson's a kid who actually had a SLU offer in high school, but it was from the previous staff. He stayed home in Indianapolis, where he's from, averaged 18.3 minutes a game this season, which, is respectable for, somebody coming out of the Big East. 6.1 points, just under 2 rebounds, 2.5 assists. He's a little foul prone, but made 43.3% of his three pointers. So I think he's got a few things that you absolutely have to pay attention to. If he's somebody who could be a true distributor, along with the fact that he's a guy who can shoot like that, if he can do that at a higher volume, I think there's a lot to be intrigued with here, Zach. I also think he's a big 6'2". Like there are some guys who look like kind of a small 6'2". I think he plays a little bigger. So I like that about him as well.
Um,
Did you figure out who that coach was?
no, I did not. Of course, I didn't. Let's talk about Ring Malith. He's in the portal. He's a 6'9" senior forward from Edwardsville. Nice looking slash line. He played under Brian Barone last season. 19-13, 12-8, fifth in the OVC. So a nice season for SIUE. Maybe Ring looking to parlay his success to the next level.
Yeah, and he's one who is also he's a South Sudanese guy who came to SIUE. And I think he has one more year because even though he was a senior this year, he did 2 seasons at Barton Community College, which he led to a national championship. So he was kind of considered to be a big get for them out of the JUCO level, and did a couple seasons there. But you're right, yeah. I mean, he's a guy. He scored a lot this year. 17 points a game is great. He can step out and shoot the three. He's a good free throw shooter, 74%. So there's a lot of things that he does that I think are going to absolutely translate up to the A10. He's a nice player, really experienced. He's old, so like yeah, guy who can absolutely step in, play hard, rebound, do all the things you need.
Belmont hired 31-year-old Evan Brads.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he coached for the Maine Red Claws 17-18,
Hmm.
Boston Celtics assistant from 18 to 22, Utah Jazz assistant 22 to 25, and then a Duke assistant from Duke assistant last year, and then
Yeah,
got the job.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. They're
That's a
excited about him.
Are they really?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. This next one, I actually just saw a video about the name Dennis. Like, don't name your kid Dennis. It was like a sketch show. I don't know. It was weird.
Oh,
I don't know. It came in my algo. I don't know. Damarian Dennis, 6'1" sophomore guard from Wyoming. Uh, 18 and he comes from a Wyoming squad under Sundance Wicks. It would have been his first class, his second season for Sundance. 18 and 15, 9 and 11. I don't know this guy. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know what
So
his role would be, I guess.
look, 11.3 points a game in the Mountain West is like, yeah, that's good. He's a solid player, but the fact that he's small, he's not really a distributor. I just don't really see what I would be curious to know. Like again, like we've already said before, there are a lot of these like kind of lists that get put out there on
Yeah.
Twitter and stuff like that, and maybe not everybody on those lists is actually pursuing. But I would be curious what they see his role as here, because to me, I don't see he's not as obvious a fit. He's the first one in this whole list that we've gone through that I question, that I sort of go like, why him? What does he bring to the table that we don't already have or that we can't get, plus a couple other things in another player. So yeah, little bit curious to know what the role is here. I don't want to write off anyone, and certainly to trust the staff. I just don't see it with him yet. But Zach, what about KJ Perry? I think we had him up one in the list.
Oh, missed him.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
BYU.
Yeah. 6'3" sophomore guard from the Brigham Young University.
Hmm.
Of course, you'd want to get out of there. Played a JUCO season first, then redshirted this season. Hopefully stayed away from Utah University. He was the number one JUCO recruit in the nation 2 seasons ago.
Yeah,
I mean, we know what BYU did. You know about BYU. They went 23 and 12, 9 and 9. They made the NCAA tournament. They tailed off towards the end of the year. Obviously, KJ Perry did not play. I would have to go look at some highlights. But I mean, name recognition, accolade recognition sounds like a good. You know,
yeah.
it sounds like maybe a flyer in some ways, but
Well, I think there's a thing that a few of these guys have in common, right? Like so if you look at him, if you look at Isaiah Dennis, there are guys who like they're very well regarded recruits, and then they sit a year and they can kind of be out of sight, out of mind for some of those bigger programs. And then when you go down a notch, to us, you kind of look around and go, maybe there's some real value to be had. Like given the fact that we're not just like going after the best available players or whatever, like
right,
there are NIL considerations, and maybe you're looking for, hey, this guy was the number one JUCO recruit in the country not that long ago, and sat this year. Maybe he was a little bit hurt and kind of decided to sit out. Maybe he just didn't want to play a role too far down in the rotation behind, a loaded BYU roster that was clearly making a push for a title. So I think I don't know. I think this is, you wonder if a guy like this kind of gets forgotten, and maybe they're seeing like somebody who's primed for a breakout season, a bounce back season.
yeah. I mean, not even a bounce back season either. Maybe just
Well, I mean, from sitting.
yeah. Like, well, that's you look at with Sharma. How the hell did that guy not play? Like, how did he not
Oh
score
yeah.
more points? You
Did you
know,
watch? Did you watch any clips of Sharma like a year ago
I
when we
dude,
landed him?
it's been a long time.
Oof. Watching that Virginia offense, I was just like, you got to get out of there.
Yeah,
Like,
go
if they couldn't,
leave now.
if they could not generate anything out of him, I mean, it just shows you how broken that system was. But like, yeah, even just watching his highlights, I was like, what is this team doing? What are they running? They were a mess. So yeah, sometimes you gotta find those guys who are just their skills are just not being served where they are.
What do you think of a guy with the nickname Dunk?
I looked him up and I was really surprised. I was like, wait, he's named Dunk Joseph, Landon Dunk Joseph, and he's only 6'2".
Landon?
I guess when your name's Landon and
Dunk?
and
Yeah.
you want to like strike some fear into the hearts of your
Yeah.
opponents, you
Well,
know.
well, no, land. You dunk and then you
Oh,
land.
I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just grasping at straws here
Sure.
to bring a smidgen of humor to the audience. Um, he was at Marshall last season. He will be a sophomore, averaged 7.9 points per game, but shot 41.3% from three. I guess didn't dunk very much, but he averaged 2 assists per game in just 17 minutes. I think you're looking at a guy who could play the trigger role here. But like maybe you look at it more along the lines of you have guys that can trigger instead of triggers.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think so the trigger tends to be a big, right, for sure. I think the role here is like think of somebody who's like more of a real combo guard, right? And he can shoot that three, he can distribute, and you're probably looking at his senior numbers, or sorry, season numbers, and going, why is a guy who averaged under 8 a game for Marshall on our list? But like, he did play starter minutes down the stretch. He went into starting roles. He was playing some games over 30 minutes a game. It just took him a while over the course of the season to kind of work his way into that role, but he was really one of their key players down the stretch, the last 10 games of the season. This is a team that went 19 and 13, 11 and 7 in the league. Cornelius Jackson still the coach. There's no coaching change.
Corny.
But I think if you're a guy who, like, by the end of the season is looking like one of the key players on the team, you're probably thinking, like, you know what? Why didn't you believe in me all season long? Maybe I wanted bigger role right away, and maybe you're worried they'll never really have that faith in you. Like, you keep having to prove it to them. And so instead of that, like, go somewhere else where you're wanted right away. I don't. That's just my guess. I don't know what the whole dynamic is there, but he was one where, and at first blush, I was kind of like, what? Why would we contact this guy? And then over time, you start going like, okay, all right, I think there may be something here, and you're trying to find a guy right on the right moment of his upswing before he costs $2.5 million.
That would be interesting if you were able to like filter players by guys whose minutes started low and ended
Yeah,
high.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm sure I can't be the first person to think of that. I'm
They are
dumb.
so much more sophisticated than
Um,
we are.
I have a question, Pete. How do you feel about a person named T Ford from Oklahoma?
Sign me up. Sign me up. I'm ready. Like,
You're ready to do it again?
8 years wasn't enough. Let's
Now
redo
you
it.
need how about Terrence Ford Jr., a 6'1" guard from Tulsa, average 9 points per game, 2.9 rebounds per game, 4.9 assists per game in 2024-25 at Arkansas State. Sat out this past season after playing 3 at Arkansas State. He only played 2 games in one of those seasons, so he might have 2 years of eligibility left. He's a 39% career free 3-point shooter. And he gives you that, and he can distribute.
Yeah.
He obviously did not play this season. However, it was a team that went to the NIT finals
Hmm.
and lost to Auburn at Tulsa, 30-8, 13-5 under Eric Conkle, who also was on the list of guys that could get a call from a St. Louis University athletic department.
Yeah, 30 wins at Auburn, or sorry, I was looking at, they lost to Auburn in the NIT finals, but
God dang it.
30 wins at Tulsa, 38 games played. That's interesting. I don't think of Tulsa as a team that could win 30 games in a season. But anyway, the thing here, I mean, obviously there are some concerns, right? Like 2 medical redshirt years out of 4. So
Mhm.
there's kind of a high injury risk here. He's only 6'1". He is a point guard. He gives you that, 5 assists per game in the last season that he played a full season. But I would have loved to have at least some of a season at Tulsa to see how he translated up a level, right? Like, because Tulsa is clearly in a bigger, better conference, playing a tougher schedule than Arkansas State. So there's definitely some apprehension here. He's high risk. I don't know how high the reward is, but he's another one. If he's fully healthy, you can kind of see what he does.
Pete, let's talk about this last guy. Certainly not least from our conversations off the
No,
pod. I think we're both very interested in this guy in a strictly basketball sense.
sure.
A 6'9" forward from Concord, a D2 school in West Virginia. He averaged 16.3 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 1.7 blocks per game in 14 games. He suffered a high ankle sprain and shut it down for the year. He can shoot it from outside 48% from 3. He has about 5 attempts per game, which is a lot.
Hmm.
I mean, I got to know where this guy's been hiding. But he also plays basket. He attacks the rim like he's listening to like early 2000s, late 90s Eminem.
He goes hard at the rim. Yeah, I really I love. So first off, the first thing that jumped out to me was I love the mechanics on his shot. He shoots from really deep. Like he'll pull up from, mid 20s feet, like pretty regularly, like well behind the 3-point line, and has a really good looking shot for he's 6'9", right? And he moves a little bit more like a guard. Like he plays like a guy who was a guard his whole life, and then one year just like grew a ton, right? So he's kind of got a
I
guard
wonder.
look about
Then
him.
that's interesting. I'm interested. Now that you say that, you look at it and he's like, was he like a 6'2" guard until his senior year,
I
and
mean
then he
that
grew?
maybe that would explain why he's playing D2 ball in West Virginia, right? Like you're saying, where's he been hiding? I mean, that's one of the most
Um,
geographically isolated states in the union, but I really do like the look of him on video. So you say, the way he attacks the rim, like he'll take off from farther away than you expect and either dunk it or lay it in. I really like the look of him, and I would.
mhm.
Somebody's got to convince me that he's not a D1 player because he sure looks like
He's
it to me.
he's from Grove City, Ohio.
Oh, he's from Grove
Um,
City. Oh, okay.
yeah.
That's just south of Columbus.
It's a shame that when I go to Huddle, I can't see his updated size. Like how I would
Sure,
assume
sure.
along the way,
Like, do they have
you
a?
change your username. You can look back at the history and see what they updated the size to
I
be.
can actually, yeah, I can check that data. My kid's pediatrician's website. I can see where their growth chart over the
Oh
years. But
hell yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
We
I don't
gotta
know if
put
we can.
we have to put that on Huddles on the
Yeah.
on 3 or
Hey, yeah, my
Rivals.
son, tall fourth grader.
Height
He's going to be
6'8". Dude, I really need to know. I need to know why this kid, because I'm gonna go after this. I'm gonna go watch more highlights.
he's a fun player to watch. Like, so it's Craig with a K, Gilbert.
Well, that's the
He's a
only way to spell
fun guy to
Craig.
watch. By the way, Grove City, Ohio. Do you remember the last guy SLU signed from Grove City, Ohio?
John Smith.
Wow. Well done, Zach. That's exactly right. John Smith from Grove City, Ohio. It's Columbus is funny because coming up from Cincinnati from the south, it's like Grove City and then you hit like the 270 loop and then it's like downtown. It's got a very short like the south end is where like the landfills and jails and the horse track and stuff is. Like it's kind of like the uglier side of the city, but then the north part it takes forever to get in and out of. Like if you're coming in from Cleveland, Columbus, like despite being in the middle of the state, it's very lopsided, and Grove City just happens to be a suburb on the south side. That's the one you pass through from Cincinnati. So I always see the bridge with the big sign for Grove City when I'm going up to Columbus. Interesting, he's from there though, and playing in West Virginia. But I really, really like his game, and someone's going to need to convince me that he's not actually as good as I think he is.
Dude, these some pictures just got posted to Instagram. St. Louis men's basketball, also with Ali Albanese photography. The pictures from the or the video shoot.
Oh, great.
They go hard.
Nice. Right.
Kellen Thames wearing the chain, the arch going. It's crazy. You guys got to go look at them.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
sure
share
by the
those.
time you're listening.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a lot of people are, you're reaching out to a lot of people scheduling Zooms. I know they had dinner with a recruit on tonight, right now, as we record this. They're at dinner. Hi, guys.
I'm guessing that's Capkey.
Yeah. So yeah, dinner tonight. And per Stu's article, it's what Shirts will meet with Capkey right now. And Bovair and the rest of the staff will hang out with the parents, doing much cooler shit.
Yeah, read that article, by the way, about the process for portal recruiting. It's fascinating, and I don't know. I really enjoy that one.
I hope they're getting bombed, like at Ballpark Village.
I'm not going to go that far. I just want them to get the best players. No, I meant
the parents.
Do what they want to do.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, what from here, where do we go? What are we looking for?
Yeah, so I think we've talked about before, they want two bigs. I think Shirts said he thinks we can be really competitive. We'll zero in on about 8 or 9 targets with the hopes of landing 2. I think you probably want 2 guys who don't bring exactly the same skill set, so like when we went through those bigs that we all described above, you probably want 2 who sound a little bit different than one another, right? Avila and Otieno, much different players. You don't want 2 guys who come in and just do the same thing exactly. I don't think, So you probably want the ability to adjust for different opponents with a different set of, with a mixed set of bigs in your front court, is what I'm thinking, Zach. So you want to be able to guard everybody. You want to be able to run your system as well. So it's a tough balance to strike, but I think in addition to that, they're going to want somebody, a guard, a wing type, who can distribute and who can shoot the 3 and get downhill. I think he said is kind of the other profile they're looking at. So we'll see where it ends up, but hopefully we've kind of given everybody a little bit of a flavor of what they're looking at so far.
Pete, let's kick it around the A10 and the rest of college basketball, presented by Two Men in a Garden.
Yeah, Zach, last week I told people what I was doing. I put the onion in the pickling pouch, the smoky chipotle.
Put the lime in a coconut. Yeah,
I did. And I pulled it out of the fridge on Thursday. We made burgers, weeknight burgers, and not my best burgers. I kind of overcooked mine a little bit. But the cheat code here, Zach, is those onions, you pull them out of the pickling pouch after a few days, and they were fantastic. I put them on the burger, cheddar, bacon, barbecue sauce, bun. Pretty simple, but an absolute perfect flavor combination. Like you just cannot go wrong. Absolute cheat code. And I think you should go check it out for yourself. Sold you on them last week. I've done it. Check our Twitter, check our Instagram. I put the results up on there. And again, weeknight burger, a little bit rushed. I do all the cooking. I had to do a few other things with it too. Make sure the kids get their vegetables. But the burgers turned out well enough, and my wife and I both really enjoyed them. So go to twomeninthegarden.com, experiment for yourself. While you're there, pick up their pickles, their salsa. They're as good as it gets. We talk about them every week. We love them, and they support us. twomeninthegarden.com. Enter MMP at checkout for free shipping.
We're going to kick it around the A10, looking at the transfer portal. Davidson, additional outgoing players, RJ Greer, Devin Brown, Manny Joseph. Dayton is losing Sean Puday.
Sure.
And Deshane,
Somebody we never got to
no,
know, that's for sure.
not gonna play here anymore.
Yeah.
Uh,
Good. There's the reference I actually got.
Yeah, there you go. Deshane Montgomery, kind of a surprise, although he drew the ire of many Dayton fans.
Yeah, he's not a huge surprise to me. He was one of these guys who came in, and I think he's a really like athletic. We know who he is by now, but really athletic player came in with a little bit of hype and just never seemed to be a personality fit. And a lot of Dayton fans kind of question his work ethic and commitment and things like that. So he was one of those guys who seemed like a malcontent, and you'd never quite figured out why. I think he pissed a lot of people early on in the season when they hit that kind of rough patch where they had lost a few games they shouldn't have lost, and he was like, basically telling them he went on Twitter and stuff like that and was like, if you don't ride with us now, you don't deserve to ride with us.
He went T-Dogger.
Basically, it was that kind of thing. So I think a lot of fans said,
you never go full Dogger.
That's exactly right. But so they lose him, they lose Hurd. I think that's a bit of athleticism on the roster they've got to replace. But I think those are guys that they will be able to replace nonetheless.
Duquesne is losing Jakub Netchis, Lazar Milosevic, and our sweet baby boy Steph Van Bussel. Jakub Netchis is a big loss for them.
He is. He gave us fits. Their front court in general kind of gave us fits, and not the guy we thought who would in the beginning of the year, John Hewley, but everybody else did. Him and Dave Dixon, just big guys who rebound and play hard. So he's gonna succeed somewhere.
Christian Henry is heading out from Fordham. Rickus Schulte is returning. Did he do an I'm back graphic?
I think he did. Somebody did. Somebody did. Yeah,
it wasn't a Tipton edit.
No, I don't think so. Not his style. Schulte's he's a workhorse, but yeah, that means that so Fordham had a really big front court, and I think they're all coming back. So they've lost a couple decent players, but the fact that they're returning those bigs is kind of impressive actually, because that's where we kind of struggled against them, was rebounding.
George Mason is losing Devin Booker, not that Devin Booker, Stas Sivka. And what does it say about the status of your program when you can't even get your son to return?
I know, I had forgotten about him completely. Like it
escaped me that Tony Skinn had a son that was of college age.
Yeah, and I think he was only a freshman. He's small. I don't think he played. I think he probably, loved the idea of going there and kind of being the the Jaden shirts or something, and kind of like maybe he's a coach in training kind of deal. But maybe he's just going to find somewhere where he can play. He's listed at 6 foot, 165, so he's definitely on the smaller side, and I'm curious to see if he.
Congratulations, Isaiah! You're a Cougar.
Maybe he goes to
you're a Murray State racer.
I bet he would go lower than that, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe even lower division. Yeah.
Let's see. I was gonna say something about George Mason. But I forgot what it was.
Oh, and Corey Mincy's going to South Carolina.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah.
George Washington, Christian Jones, Ty Bevins, Trey Moss, who's going to LaSalle, Mohammed Ben Zager, and Luke Hunger are all on the way out. And I mean, like, the rumor was that GW was pulling money from the endowment to pay for was it a proof of concept? And now they're just like, nah, man, we don't have that money anymore.
No idea. What I do know is that it was published, like a week ago, how much it costs to go to GW for a year, and all in tuition, room, and board is over $98,000 for the 26-27 school year, Zach, which is just staggering. Like, I knew GW, good academic school, good reputation. It's in DC, but that is just a shocking sticker price for GW, especially if some of that might be going to fund rev share for the basketball team. But
Hey,
this
you
is
remember
kind
when
of,
we moved into Chaffetz and they had
oh
the
yeah, the
fee,
50,
the
yeah, like,
student fee?
yeah,
It was like $10.
and it was a mutiny.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're gonna up it by 10 grand a person so that we can pay the college basketballers. Which I mean, whatever.
But
If it
look,
works, it
so
works.
they've got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight
They have no
guys
players
in
left.
the portal. Yeah, so Castro, Johnson, Autry, Jones. I guess is Dinkins back or did he graduate? Yeah, he was a senior, so he's gone. And Hunger's gone. Tyrone Marshall, did we say? Yeah, he was a senior. Holy cow, you're not kidding. Yeah, their whole roster is gone. I guess Amir
It's
Arrington.
my lateral incisor. It's gone.
So that's actually pretty shocking. They're the only guy who played
Cancel
in
GW basketball.
any games this year who could return is Amir Arrington, who appeared. He played in 4 games and averaged 2.8 minutes. So
Oh shit.
I don't know if
He's
he's
gonna
even
be
a
a
scholarship.
stud.
Yeah, I mean he's the guy now. And no
Uh,
incoming players yet. So yeah, GW is a complete rebuild and yeah, Caputo, good luck, man.
not gonna work here anymore. Um, LaSalle is they lost Edwin Daniel this week. They gained Trey Moss, as we mentioned, and then Vice Zonky from Niagara. I need Brock Vice to transfer to LaSalle now,
Mm,
so that we have
yes,
Vice and Vice.
that's right. Let's Vice and
Where is
Vice could
Vice?
be a
Vice
good.
is from like Eastern Europe, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't remember where.
He's from Czechia,
Okay.
uh, Croatia. I'm sorry.
Croatia. Okay, yeah, Zagreb, Croatia. Yeah, I got it.
Is there any other city in Croatia other than Zagreb?
Split. People left
Oh, okay.
Split.
Oh,
And then
okay.
where was it was King's Landing in Game of Thrones. Dubrovnik, the old
Oh,
city
okay.
Dubrovnik.
Yes, yes, I know.
Yes.
Yes, I know Dubrovnik very well.
So there's
Um,
3 Croatian cities for you.
Daniil Glasgow, Sam Juracek, Miles Rubin, good riddance, is headed to Tennessee.
Yep.
Justin Moore, Daywilk Tavares, and Chucky Love are all out the door in Chicago.
Yeah.
They do have some incoming players. Eddie Ricks, who sounds like a baseball player from 1917. James Madison, Dayon Nassau from Cleveland State, Jason Schofield from Marist.
Yeah, he's like 6'10". We'll see if he turns out to be anything. Nessa from Cleveland State, I guess, had a huge game against them in that first game of the year that they won on a buzzer beater, if you recall. So he must have gotten their attention there. But yeah, pretty much a complete rebuild in Loyola as well, just like George Washington. But I guess unlike
It
GW, they've got some pieces in.
the piece the kind of the picture that's being painted right now is a lot like that Ford penultimate season here,
Mm.
where it's a huge roster turnover. You're not really sure what you know, you're hoping that something big drastic can happen, but I mean, we'll see.
And I hate
Rhode
to be
Island,
like super cynical too, but these first 3 guys, none of them are really like you look at their
none of
numbers.
them exist.
I mean, Nessa put up 15 and a half points a game for Cleveland State, so my guess is he's going to be a starter. But
I'm
these other 2 guys, like were
uh
I don't know, they didn't really put up numbers at James
I'm
Madison or Marist.
yeah, I'm super confused. This guy's listed as a third baseman.
Yes, he is. He is for the St. Louis Browns.
Yes. Yes, yes. Rhode Island, Moek Ick. So all you basic white bitches can relax. Ick is gone.
He it's a beautiful name. He's from the Netherlands, by the way. That's Dutch. But 7-1 didn't play this year, sat out, so he'll be a redshirt freshman somewhere.
Richmond sees Jaden Daughtry depart, which is upsetting. I liked Jaden Daughtry. They did get a commitment from Jamie Kaiser out of Butler.
Yeah, I didn't know much about him, but people seem to think he's going to be a good fit at Richmond. So I'll take their word for it.
St. Bonaventure, add them to the list of teams with no players. They add Xander Wedlow, Frank Mitchell, Brock Ostrom, Daniel Egbunyue, Amari Marshall, Caden Charles, and Braden Jackson uh, uh, to the portal, and a lot of work for that for the dulcet tones of Michael McDonald
And GM Adrian Wojnarowski, you guys are on the clock.
Complete fraud, Adrian Wojnarowski.
Yeah, I mean that's 9 guys out. I think that's tied with Davidson for the most in the league. George Washington and Loyola both have 8. But GW had more graduations, so I think it's more dramatic there. But yeah, that's a lot of teams that are just doing complete rebuild, Zach. And another one is St. Joe's. They have Jaden Glover Toscano and a few other guys staying. But they will add Anthony Finkley, Jaden Smith, Steven Solano.
Not that Jaden Smith.
No, the talentless Nepo baby, Jaden Smith. No, not that one. Steven Solano, Al Amadou, and Kevin Carney, who just announced that he's going to Manhattan. So not a total rebuild on Hawk Hill, but they've got a lot of places to fill in.
VCU, nobody has left since the last time we checked in, but Blake Harper out of Creighton. Couldn't sound more like a Creighton player if his name was Kyle Korver.
Yeah. People think he could be, an all-conference level player for VCU. Maybe not a first teamer, but he'll certainly be an important player from the start right there as they look to replace Hill.
Pete, let's head on over to women's basketball. The program officially announced the return of Alyssa Kirkenmeyer, Jada Denny, Jakara Brown, Jada Tiggett, Mia Bergstrom, and Jasiah Wallace. Another we're back post that we didn't need, but we got. It's fine.
I think it was kind of important here because, Kirkenmeyer. Really? I mean, like that. That's really what it is. I mean, she's the one you build around. The rest are role players around her, and I'm going to be really curious to see how they build this team.
Yep. Women's basketball, man. If you have a dominant big, you can do a lot. You can really play above you can punch above your weight. On the baseball diamond, a tough. No, that's an all right week. Not a great week. A 5-4 loss at Illinois State on Tuesday the 7th. The Billikens took a 4-2 lead into the bottom of the 9th, loaded the bases, and then gave up 3 straight RBI singles. Drew Welk started the inning, and Colin Hawkins came in for the loss. Matt Deutsch had a solo bomb. They followed it up with a 3-0 win at George Washington on Friday the 10th. Ben Cherico threw an absolute gem. 2 hits, 2 walks, struck out 10 on his way to a complete game shutout. Just a completely fantastic performance. First complete game shutout for a SLU pitcher since 2021. Joey Canzioni homered, Austin Newegg and Ahmad Duff scored. The Billikens 2 other runs. They followed it up with a split on Saturday and Sunday, Pete.
Yes, they did. On Saturday, they lost 13-4. Both teams had the same number of hits, 12, but somehow that translated into a 9-run loss for the Bills. 10 of SLU's 12 hits came from the top 4 in the order, 9 from the top 3 of Drew Kleinheider, Hank Gomerick, and Riley Ifrig. They were responsible for all 4 RBIs as well, and 3 of 4 runs. SLU also had 3 errors, so they just couldn't strategically spread out those hits. It all came from the same few guys, unfortunately. But they did turn it around on Sunday the 12th with a 3-2 win. Ian Blazer kicked off the scoring with a solo shot in the 3rd inning, and he went 3 for 3 on the day. Hank Gomrich and Matthew Arnold drove in the next 2 runs in the 4th. Noah Andrunas threw 5 2/3 quality innings for the win, and Lauren Georger pitched the final 3 1/3 for the save. Next up, Zach, they host Lindenwood on Tuesday. They head to SIUE on Wednesday, and then Davidson comes to St. Louis for a 3-game weekend series. So they are busy this week.
Yes, softball as well. They started out with a 9-3 win against SEMO on Wednesday the 8th. I mean, they've always had trouble with SEMO, so I enjoy any time they can beat that team southeast of here. It was tied 3-3 when SLU scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 5th to blow it wide open. Abby Mallow homered and led the Billikens with 3 hits and 3 RBIs. 8 different Billikens crossed the plate. Bella Stevens scored twice. They opened the series with George Mason with a loss 3-2. Saturday the 11th, SLU scored 1 in the 6th, once in the 7th, but the rally came up short. Anna Christ went the distance and had a decent game on the mound. The Bills just couldn't support her at the plate. Just 3 total hits in this one, Pete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in game 2, they bounced back with a 4-1 win. Isabel Royal took a 1-hit shutout into the bottom of the 7th, and things got a little shaky from there. Gave up a couple hits, hit a couple batters. Mason spoiled the shutout with a run, but SLU and Royal still got the win in the end. Sofia Buente led the offense with a 3-run double. And then on Sunday the 12th at Mason, SLU got out to a 2-0 lead with a 2-run double from Anna Christ, but Mason got 1 back in the bottom of the 3rd and took the lead for good in the 6th, giving them a 4-2 win over the Billikens. Riley Nelson started for SLU. She went the distance and took the loss. Next up, Zach, the softball will host Eastern Illinois for a 1-off at home on Wednesday the 15th, and then they'll host Dayton for a 3-game weekend series. So would love to get at least 2 out of 3 over their rival.
Women's tennis, 4-2 loss against New Mexico State Friday the 10th. Emerson White won at number 1 singles. Aaron Walker took the number 6. Those were the only 2 victories for the Billikens. A 4-2 loss to the Aggies at Dwight Davis Tennis Center. And then they followed that up with a 4-3 loss at Lindenwood on Sunday the 12th. The Billikens took the doubles point, but only White and Madison Hill won in singles competition. Those 2 were a winning pair in doubles as well. Next up will be the A10 Championship, the 22nd through the 25th in Orlando, Florida. Men's tennis off this week, and then they will conclude their regular season on the 16th in Mason, Ohio, against the Norse of Northern Kentucky. Pete, finish us up with track and field.
Yeah, they were at the Duke Invitational April 9th to the 11th. Sam Lamaze again, Zach, won the 400 with a time of 46.50, breaking his own record for the 3rd time this season. It's the top time in the A10 this season. It's 25th in the NCAA West qualifying standings. Roughly the first 48 times qualify for the NCAA opening round meet, which is at Arkansas this year. So I think we're pretty confident we'll see him run there, and hopefully he has a chance to make some noise in the not tournament, but the meet, the big NCAA meet,
the big dance meet.
The big dance. I know. I was trying to think there's got to be a
big meet
track. Yeah.
Don't you just love the big meet, Pete?
The big meet.
big meet, Pete.
Let's not get that started. Clara Gillen broke her own school record in the 3,000 meter steeplechase with a time of 10:33.75. And then the men's 4x100 meter relay set a new school record with a time of 41.71. That's Bowen Brockmiller, Will Stewart, Dane Triber, and Luke Erdman. There were several more PRs at Duke, as well as the SIUE Cougar Classic in Edwardsville. So check out head coach John Bell's Twitter account at JBell30 for all of those. Next up is our favorite meet of the year, the Drake Relays and the Kip Janvrin Open, which are both in Iowa, the weekend of April 22nd to the 25th. And that's it on the track this week, Zach.
Yeah, and that's going to do it for the Billikens this week. Pete, I can't believe this 2-word phrase is on a T-shirt. It started as kind of a in jest roll bills. It's become a genuine rally cry, which is hilarious and awesome, and I love it.
Yeah.
So Pete, roll bills.
Roll bills.